everyone, it's Sherry from the blog OurLifeHomeschooling.com, where I share homeschooling encouragement for everyday moms. Today I'm going to be talking about how to keep a simple nature study notebook.
Where's Mama? Where's Mama? Hi. Oh. Yeah.
If you're new to my channel, my name is Sherry. I am a homeschooling mom to 10 kids. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, Nelson. We've been married for 22 years. I'm a former public school teacher turned homeschool mom. I love encouraging other moms on my YouTube channel and on the blog, OurLifeHomeschooling.com. If you like the content that you see here, would you do me a favor and like this video and subscribe? That shows YouTube that this is the kind of content you like. One of my favorite things about nature study is that it is a sensory experience. There's something to see and touch and smell. The flowers smell beautiful. You can listen to the calls of the birds or the sounds of the squirrels. There's even things to taste out in nature study. So it just engages all of the senses, which I think makes it more appealing to children, and they remember so much from it. So I love for our kids to be familiar and to be observant with what's in the world around them when they go outside, for them to be able to identify different birds and plants, and for them to just be excited about it and entertained by it. The key word that I want to focus on in this video is the word simple. We're a family of 12, so we have 7 in school this year. For us to keep a nature notebook, it has to be something very simple, or it won't get done. As much as I love nature study, it's one of those subjects that's kind of on the fringe because I have so many other things that are really important, like the foundations of math, reading and writing, and I really want my kids to enjoy nature, but we have to find a way to keep it simple if we're going to be able to do it at all. And I would rather they consistently be keeping a journal rather than have this exquisite, beautiful notebook that only has maybe 2 or 3 entries in it. So I want for them to keep a nature notebook, but it has to be something that we can fit into what we're already doing, and it has to be very basic. I think it's really important to invest in some tools for them to make their drawings and their sketches really nice. Just having sharpened colored pencils, some nice watercolors, some good brushes. These things just make it handy, and who wants to try to draw something with crayons that are all dull and coming apart? It's just nice to have some good supplies, so we like to keep those handy. Another supply that is necessary is a nature notebook. We use these little sketchbooks. I found them at Michael's. You can find them really a lot of places. They have a hardcover, which I think is nice. It's more durable. And I like this spiral binding over here so they can just open it up and it can lay flat. In our home, because we have multiple children, I have found that it's easier for me to substitute nature study for something that we're already doing. rather than to try to fit in this subject as something extra on top of what we're doing. So for us, I have my kids do copy work every day. It's on their checklists, and it's something that's just a regular part of their morning. So once a week, I have them replace their copy work with nature notebooking. This is a great fit for us because it's not adding anything on. It's just replacing something that we're already doing. And it really gets them excited about it because they get to do something different than copy work for one day. So it's something to kind of look forward to. One thing that has really helped us in our nature notebooking is to find a basic format that we follow. A friend of mine introduced me a couple years ago to the book A Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, and I was so fascinated by this book. It's beautiful, and I love the illustrations in it. What I especially love is the format that she uses. And when I saw this, I felt like this was something that would really help us in our nature notebooks. It would help us to give us a basic guideline and to keep it simple enough that my kids would kind of know what's expected and what to do when they do their nature notebooking. I think it can be a little intimidating to have a blank page and for kids to not really know exactly what they're supposed to do with it. The examples in this book just give a basic guideline. I want to introduce you to this book, The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And as you can see, ours is well used. That's how books are supposed to be. And her work is just really pretty. She has beautiful illustrations. She also has just little mottos and poems that she keeps in here, as well as journal entries. Some of them are a sentence or two, some of them are a whole paragraph. And I want to show you how we've used the format in this book to make a basic guideline for our nature notebooks. So I like how she has the month in block letters and then underneath it some picture that just describes what she sees in that month or what you would see outside. And here's another example of that. So in our notebooks, if you open your page, so you have a left and a right side, I like to have our kids write the month at the top in either block letters or something really pretty, and then draw an illustration on the left side of the page under the month of either, just one thing they see in nature, or it can be several different things, or just a scene, maybe right outside our window, or something that you would see in that time of the month. On the right side of our notebook is where I have them put journal entries. So these journal entries are what they would be doing weekly on that one day where they do nature notebooking, as well as just adding things over here. Now this child has done some longer paragraphs, but I would just encourage them to do maybe 1 to 3 or 4 sentences, because I feel like if it gets too lengthy that maybe they can be like really excited about it on one day, but then after a couple weeks it would just wane. So to be consistent at it, just keep it short, just talk about what they've seen that day. So this is the page for entries. These 2 pages are the basic guideline for how we have done our nature notebooks. If they want to add something, like a little poem in here or a motto, that's great. I want to show you just a couple entries that my kids have. We're very real around here. I'm not trying to impress you with our perfect nature notebooks, and I hope that makes you feel better and encourages you that they don't have to be perfect. I think the point is that they are learning, they're being observant, and they are keeping something that they'll remember and that they'll have for years to come. I like to encourage the kids to be colorful, but they're not always colorful. We have some entries that are pretty plain and just, pencil and some sketches. Here you can see she's taped a Japanese maple leaf into her notebook, and she has little sketches down here with word bubbles. It's okay if you spend periods of time where you focus more on nature study than others. We'll have whole years where we really make nature study and journaling a priority. We focus on it, we talk about it a lot, and then other years where we don't really do much with it at all. And I still keep it as something on their checklist that they do consistently, but it's just not focus. And I think that's okay to focus on it more at some times and not at other times. Just helping them to keep a habit of being consistent, of writing consistently in their notebooks, is what I think is important for them. You can see here that she's copied a poem here about all of the months and some of the things you'll see outside in the months. And sometimes I'll encourage them to add that if it's something that they find and they really like. Again, the idea is not perfection and beauty. The idea is having something to keep and being observant and enjoying the process. If you want to keep your nature notebooks simple enough that your kids do them consistently, then I would suggest a couple things. First, make it a part of your daily routine. So for us, we put it in our checklist. It's on there in place of copy work, 1 day a week. So there's 1 day a week where it's just part of what they do. Another way to do it would be to include it as part of your morning time. And again, I would substitute it for something that you're already doing. So if there's something you do every day, just, switch it out for nature study and nature notebooking. I have not done nature notebooking in morning time. That's not true. I've done it a couple times. I have not found it very effective because we do our morning time at breakfast, and after morning time we do chores. So as soon as our morning time is over, we pretty much are all excused at once, and that just doesn't go well with nature notebooking because kids sometimes get an idea or get inspired and they want to finish their drawing, and that takes time. So we can't all finish at the same time if we do it during morning time. But maybe that will work for you. Maybe that will be a good fit. Don't set the bar too high for their notebooks. If showing them Pinterest pictures, showing them some of the pictures from this book, The Diary of an Edwardian Lady, if that inspires them and encourages them, then that's great. But having this ideal of these Instagram-worthy nature notebooks, I think can just keep us from doing it. The important thing is that kids are out in nature, that they are observing and enjoying it, that they enjoy learning about what's around them. And if we have the bar so high that it has to look a certain way, or it has to be this picture-perfect notebook, I think it can really discourage that. Another thing to think about is some people like doing their sketches in their notebooks while they're out in nature. And if that works for you, then I would just go ahead and do that. That has not been the best fit for us. When we're out in nature, I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to have to stop, get all our supplies out. Then when you sit down, it's like you need to find a level place or something hard to write on, and it complicates things for me. I just want to be out there enjoying it. So for us, we like to find things out there, bring them home, put them on the table, or take pictures, and the kids can do sketches in their notebooks from the pictures. Some ideas that we have enjoyed using with our nature notebooks is to just use Mod Podge to paint some of the flower petals in our notebooks, or just use plain old tape and tape some dried flowers in there. At the back of the notebook, as kids are learning their flowers and their trees, I think it's really fun for them to keep lists of all of the things that they know, maybe all the animals that they know in their backyard, or the weeds, the common weeds that are in your yard. Keep a list of them. Some kids love keeping a bulleted list by category. So I hope this has given you some ideas of how to put together a nature notebook that is simple, just a basic format that your kids can follow and keep regularly. I'll have to finish this video with little Benjamin here. He was laying on a mat out there just cooing. Maybe you heard him in the videos, but now he wants his mommy. So here he is to finish with me. If you've enjoyed this, and if you have ideas of ways that you keep your nature notebooks simple and ways that you fit it into your normal homeschool routine, I would love to hear them. Would you leave a comment below and share with the rest of us so we can all encourage one another? Thanks for listening in. Have a great day.